Hey there everybody, welcome back to the 4-String Strummer, the channel. It's all about ukuleles. Today we're going to be taking a look at some old-time techniques to help you pull that old-time vibe out of your ukulele sound. And I'm going to be working with my Duke 10 here today, banjo ukulele, but you can play this on any kind of ukulele you've got. Just get it into tune and let's get into it. All right, so first of all, let's start off with the song itself that we're going to use to demonstrate these techniques. The song we're going to use this week is Old Kentucky Home. So it's a pretty straightforward song and it's pretty popular. I'm sure most of you know it's an old traditional tune. I'll just play it through quickly for you here and give you an idea of what it's like if you're not familiar with it, and also what the chords are. So real straightforward, starts with C. Well, the sun shines bright, and you go up to F. On my old Kentucky home, back to C. It's summer and the old folks are gay. And you can go to G and then G7 if you want, or you can just go directly to G7, whatever you like. And the corn top's ripe, you're back at C, up to F. And the meadows in the bloom, back to C. And the birds are making music, G7. All the day, back to C. And it just repeats like that all the way through. Do, 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 just like that. All right, okay, let's talk about some strumming. So some basic strumming first, then we'll get into some other techniques that we can add to that strumming to pull out that old time sound. All right, here we go. All right, so if you've been on this channel before, you know all about the plaid band style that we do here, and that is starting off with our paintbrush strum. So let's start with that for you new folks. If you want to skip ahead, I'm going to put little timestamps along the bottom here. If you're familiar with these basic strums, go ahead, move ahead. Here we go. So if you're starting off, paintbrush is basically you hit it with your thumb, you brush it with your finger. So it's paint, brush, just like that. You hit the top string with your thumb, brush the rest with your fingers. And you can play the entire song just with this one strum, like this. Well, the sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home. It's summer and the old folks are gay. And the nice thing with this strum is it gets that high G string just a ring. And it'll work with low G as well, but it really magnifies that background droning sound that's really nice for old time sound when you get that G string ringing like that. Okay, now our next strum is the sledgehammer strum, and sledgehammer is just a little bit of a fancy paintbrush kind of a thing. So you're taking that 2-part strum, paintbrush, and you're turning it into a 3-part strum, so it's sledgehammer. So what we're doing is we're coming back up with the thumb, so it goes like this. Instead of paintbrush, it's sledgehammer. Hear it? So you're hitting with the thumb, brushing it, and coming back up with the thumb. So the thumb basically works your top string and your bottom string, and the finger works basically the rest, okay? So it's, or all of the strings. Just like that. So it adds that nice little extra bounce at the end. And what I do is I take these two different strums, the paintbrush and the sledgehammer, and I'll combine them together. Sometimes I'll do paintbrush, sometimes I'll do sledgehammer in order to add a little bit of variety and still go with a fairly simple strum. So here's what it'll sound like. Well, the sun shines bright on the old Kentucky home. It's summer and the old folks are gay. So you can hear it gives it a little bit of extra kind of clip-clop kind of a thing to it. Now again, you can mix them up like I said, so I'll just do a quick little mix up here and you'll hear how it adds variety. Well, the sun shines bright on the old Kentucky home. It's summer and the old folks are gay. And the corn top's ripe, and the meadows in the bloom, and the birds are making music all day. So it again really gives you a nice sort of basic old time sound. Just gives that real nice vibe to it, okay? And like you probably noticed, it's not a set pattern that you do, you know, 2 paintbrushes and then 1 sledgehammer or whatever. Just kind of flick them in wherever you feel like it, and you'll kind of come up with your own sound that way as well. All right, let's move along and talk about some other techniques now. Here we go. So another strum that you can throw in here as well, if you like, for a little bit more accent. I call that accent strumming, when you just kind of pop one strum in every once in a while. So another nice little accent strum that you can do is what I call the double strum. So double strum is basically just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And here's how it goes. Let me show you. So it would be where the sun shines bright. We'll start with paintbrush. Where the sun shines bright. And now we'll switch to double strum. On the old Kentucky home, it's summer, in the old folks double strum all gay. In the corn tops ripe, in the meadows in the bloom, and the birds are making music all day. So again, you just kind of throw that double strum. So double strum is like this. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So you start with your thumb, then you come up with your finger, down with your finger, up with your thumb. Just like that. Start again. Thumb, up, up, thumb. So when you're using your thumb, just the top string, then your finger comes up. You can kind of brush all the strings if you want to, brush them all the way back down again, and then your thumb finishes it up with just flicking that bottom string, okay? And again, you can just kind of pitch that double strum in wherever you like. Oh, one more time, I'll show you here. You hear how it works? It gives it a real nice accent, right? Just every once in a while. And what that does is it kind of takes the listener kind of like by surprise, like, oh, wait, it's changing. Oh, it's changing. And it keeps them kind of on edge with a little bit of anticipation. All right. Okay, let's talk about some more little musical tips and techniques that we can throw in here now. All right, with just those 3 strums, and they're all fairly similar, you can get a lot of variety out of your music, and again, really pull that old time sound out with that nice droning G string ringing in the background. This is another little thing that you can do here now, and this is kind of what I call my 3-string technique. Even though I'm the 4-string strummer, we're gonna go all out here and just use 3 on this one. Have a listen. All right, doesn't that sound nice as well? And you can hear the difference in the sound when I do that type of a thing. It's much more like a claw hammer kind of a feel. And the nice thing here is that you can use this, you can throw this in just for your instrumental part. Or if you're playing along with somebody else, maybe somebody is playing a regular ukulele, like a standard sort of style, something like that, and you're playing a banjo ukulele, or even if you're both playing standards or both playing banjo, it doesn't matter. One can play one way and one can play the other way, and it really creates a nice mix. All right, so what are we doing here with this 3-string style now? Let me go through it. Okay, so this takes a little bit more precision as far as your strumming goes, because you're going to want to be pretty close to being on that exact note. So how this works is you're pulling the melody out as you're playing it. Now, melody, in order to find these melodies like I do, Basically, it's wherever the scale is. And folks, don't get too worried. I'm not a music theory guy. I couldn't tell you why this scale was like this or that one's like that, or honestly, I can't read music. But I know that this is the scale. This is like the do re mi thing. Okay, so I know that when I'm playing this song, all the notes that are in this melody are going to be one of these. Okay, so all I do is I have to find that note. So, well, the sun shines bright. Well, the sun. And all I do is I just listen to it. And I sometimes just sit here and hunt and peck around until I get the notes, okay? And so here's how it goes. So I start here, and I'm doing pretty much like a paintbrush strum, okay? I'm hitting it. See how it goes? Except I'm not having that G string ring all the way through. I'm not strumming all the strings. I'm generally using the second and the third string here as my thumb strings, we'll call that, okay? That's the one that I start on. And sometimes I'll double it up, like at the beginning of this. The sun shines bright. And I just go back. So I start on my third string, and then I drop my second finger on the third string at the second fret, because that's in that, right, in that do re mi thing, right? So it's third string, second string, back to the third string, and then I drop my finger again at that second fret, and then I go back to my second string, then I go to my F chord. Okay, again, let's start from the beginning. And then on that Old Kentucky, that's on my A string. You can also play it up here. It's the same note. But if you want to stick to the three strings, now when I go back to home, okay, I'm playing C here. And all I do is I take my second finger and I drop it at the third fret on the second string. You can hammer it on like that if you want. Okay, again, right from the beginning. So it starts on the third string, and then you drop your first finger at the second fret. Then I go to my second string. Oops. Okay, so it's third string, second string, second string, third string, okay? Now, when I play the F, I'm going for that second string, first finger there, right? Back to C, and I drop my second finger. Okay, one more time. Back to C, and I drop my second finger. Then I go to my second string there, just open, third string. Then I go to my G, G7. And while I'm on G7, I pretty much just start that process again. So it's a little different at the end. Then I go to my second string with my first finger on the first fret, lift it. Then I go back to my C. All right, so this sort of thing, again, it's very much has a similar sound to something like claw hammer. So it's much more exact, I guess, is sort of the term to use. And you don't have as full a sound as you do when you're strumming. Okay, but again, it adds that different sort of a sound that makes your listener stop and go, oh, it's changing. Oh, and then it goes back and it changes back to something different. Okay, it's almost like accent strumming. All right, so one more time, let's just play it through. Isn't that nice? Now, the other thing that you can do is if you want to strum it a little bit more and not be quite so specific on the string, that's fine too. And that will give you a little bit of a different sound, okay? It'll be a little bit fuller in the background, but not quite as exact on the melody, okay? As long as you're close to the string where the note is. So if you stay on these bottom three strings, you're going to hear the melody. It kind of pulls itself out. All right, let me try it that way and I'll show you what I mean. So you can hear how that's a little bit fuller in the background, again, but not quite as exact on the individual notes. The beautiful thing with that also is that if you don't have that picking sort of ability quite yet, or you, again, if you're playing on your own and you want a fuller sound, you can play it that way too, right? All right, let's play the song through. And we'll mess around with it a little bit. We'll do a couple of little instrumental breaks, and you can play with the different sort of things, whether you just want to do the strum, whether you want to do the old time strum kind of thing with the individual notes, or whether you just want to strum it through and do some hammer-ons to add in a little bit of that melody. All right, let's go. Okay, folks, just before we get into this week's video, don't forget to check out our website right here, 4stringstrummer.ca. Send me a little comment, drop me an email, let me know what you think of our new website, and join us on Facebook. We've got our new Facebook group called the 4 String Strummers. Lots of nice folks from all over the world on there to interact with. Some really good players as well. It's great to see lots of people are putting their videos up, which I love. And if you like the Duke banjo ukulele, I love it. Take a look down in the description. I've put a link in there and you can get a special deal on one of these beautiful banjo ukuleles. All right, let's get into the song. Oh, Kentucky Home. Here we go. Well, the sun shines bright on the old Kentucky home. It's summer and the old folks are gay, and the corn tops ripe and the meadows in the bloom, and the woods are making music all day. Well, the young folks roll on the little cabin floor, all merry, all happy and bright. By and by, all times they come a knocking at my door, my old Kentucky home. Good night. weep no more, my lady, weep no more today. We will sing one song for the old Kentucky home, that old Kentucky home, far away. One more time. Well, I hunt no more for the possum and the coon down the meadow, the hill and the shore, and they sing no more by the glimmer of the moon on the bench by the old cabin door. And weep no more, my lady, weep no more today. We will sing one song for the old Kentucky home, the old Kentucky home, far away. I love that old song. It just puts me in that real nice, relaxed mood. You know, you're kind of sitting on the swing porch, just picking away for a little while. Lovely old song. Any questions on anything at all today, folks? Please just drop it down into the comments section. I'm always more than happy to help you out. And until we see you next time, keep smiling, keep strumming, and have fun. Maybe with one of these videos right over here. Bye for now.